Common Craft video by Nancy, Chris, Jake, Laura, and Mike. What is history? Everything that exists or has existed. We study it to help develop diversity and to be tolerant to others. U.S. history is a story of the ancestors of this nation.
There were many civilized Native American tribes during the Civil War. Some sided with the Union and some with the Confederacy. Then they signed a treaty to stay in a certain area in exchange for tools, money, and animals. In November 1864, Colonel Chivington led an attack that killed 105 people called the Chivington Massacre.
The gold rush began in 1849 and it attracted thousands of gold hunters called the 49ers. Boomtowns were then found near these mining sites. When the gold rush finished, these boomtowns became ghost towns.
Push factors drive people away from their homeland. Some were persecution, famine, political turmoil, and lack of farmland. Some ethnic groups affected were Jews, Irish, Italians, Mexican, and Chinese.
Pull factors attract people to a new land or area. Some are freedom to join family and friends, available jobs, and cheap land. When these ethnic groups came to a new place, they had to assimilate. These people were called nativists.
There were many causes that led to World War I. There were militarism, alliances, nationalism, imperialism, and assassination. This is known as mania. The Triple Alliance was Germany, Austria, Hungary, and Italy. Triple Entente was France, Russia, and Britain.
The Triple Alliance lost World War I, and Germany was blamed for everything. The Treaty of Versailles stated that Germany had to accept the guilt, reduce their military, had to pay for the damage, and they lost a lot of land. Austria-Hungary was separated, and Yugoslavia became a country.
Alice Paul and Lucy Burns fought for women's suffrage. They had to endure men and women who disagreed and were also put in jail. But in 1920, the 19th Amendment was passed, and it gave women the right to vote.
On October 29, 1929, the stock market crashed. Black Tuesday was one of the causes of the Great Depression. Now, every 1 in 4 people were out of work, and people that own stocks had now lost all money. Or the other cause was overproduction and reduction in purchasing.
On the Great Plains, people were suffering from the Dust Bowl, deadly dust storms. The causes of this were too many things being planted, too many animals, loose soil, and a drought and high winds.
World War II starting ended the Great Depression because it gave people jobs. The Axis powers were Germany, Italy, and Japan. The Allied powers were the United States, England, Russia, and France. First, Poland was defeated by the German Blitzkrieg. During this time, Franklin Delano Roosevelt won a historic third term as president. On December 7, 1941, Japan bombed Pearl Harbor because the United States had made an embargo with them. This brought the United States into war.
Soon, the Allies started to win and Mussolini lost power as Italy joined the Allies. D-Day kicked Germany out of France. During the war, Jews, Gypsies, African Americans, and homosexuals were rounded up and tortured or killed in concentration camps. This was called the Holocaust. The war ended by the U.S. dropping 2 atom bombs on Japan, one on Hiroshima and the other on Nagasaki.
The Soviet Union occupied most of Eastern Europe by the end of World War II. By 1948, all of Eastern Europe was under communist control. President Truman created the Truman Doctrine and the Marshall Plan, which helped stop the spread of communism. This led to the Cold War.
The Korean War started by North Korea invading South Korea. Soon, the United States helped the capitalist South Korea push North Korea to the Chinese border. China then joined the war on North Korea's side. The war ended as a tie, and still today, Korea remains divided.
The Vietnam War was about the Viet Cong rebelling against their old leader in all of Korea. The Gulf of Tonkin Resolution allowed the United States military to attack Vietnam. A year after the United States left Vietnam, they became communist. While this war was going on, other major events were happening at home. The United States and the Soviet Union were in a space race. The United States won when Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin landed on the moon, an event that is still questioned today. In 1991, the Berlin Wall collapsed, and that marked the end of the Cold War.